Hey, Bart.
Hey, Court. How come you always get to say hey first?
Well, let's start over. You do it.
Hey, Court.
Hey, Bart. What's going on? Welcome to the Dog Ranch TV podcast.
I like it when you do it better.
I do too.
When you do it first.
I'm the leader, so the extrovert always wants to go first.
I'll just be listening, watching, waiting. We're talking to Joetta
Houghton today from All City Real Estate.
And I think realtors are superheroes. They do a really cool job and help people find like a home. Like it's not a house, it's a home.
Yeah, and if they're good at their job and the owners are flexible and have the right budget, that you could find a home that you could live in for a good portion of your life. So it's a big purchase and a very important purchase. And because of that, you really need to be with a realtor that is experienced, especially in their area. And I don't know anyone more experienced in this area than Joetta. So I can't wait to introduce you guys. And
especially if you have dogs or want to get a dog.
We can talk to her about all those things.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
Okay, let's go.
We would like to welcome Joetta Houghton from All City Real Estate. Welcome, Joetta.
Hi, Joetta.
Thank you.
Thrilled to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you.
So you and I know each other from BNI. That's how we met. But what I don't know about you is how you got into real estate. Like what made you decide this is my career? This is why I want to do this.
Yeah. So my degree is actually in elementary education because my parents didn't walk through the process of what do you want to be because they weren't college educated. And so that's just I did what my aunts and uncles did. And then only about 4 years in, I realized the kids keep coming back every day. So you make the fun bulletin boards, the lesson planning, which I love. I love coordinating all of that. But then the kids kept showing up. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Then I helped my husband open his chiropractic office and manage that until I got fired because I couldn't get the whole he gets to be the boss at work and I get to be the boss at home. So I was like,
we've played that game.
Like I got fired. He asked me to leave. And then I was like, how can I help grown-up people? Because I still wanted to help people and be with people and organize things and just have my hands in everything. And I love everything about homes and what a home represents. And so I thought, all right, let's make a run of this.
Awesome. And you've been doing this how long?
A little over 18 years.
Oh, wow.
18 years. Yeah. So you've got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
So you started when you were 5 then?
Exactly.
How long does it take to get a real estate license?
Well, so if you have your bachelor's degree, you're already, it pushes you forward. You can do less. And so I think I did mine online probably in about 6 months, just working through classes as fast as I could to get to the next one.
I've known like over the years, there's the cycles and I've never been a real estate agent, but I've seen times where people are like, oh, I'm going to get into real estate. And because they think, hey, you just sell a house and you make a bunch of money. It's so
I think
easy.
A lot of people think it's easy, but there's something to be said for experience and using an experienced real estate agent.
So when people ask me, the thing I tell them about it is you have to be okay with being unemployed every single morning when you wake up. So it's a fight every morning. I wake up and I'm like, okay, who's my boss now? I have to go find a new boss while I'm taking care of everybody else I already have that are my bosses.
Right.
So it is definitely not the easiest job I've ever had, but it's the most rewarding job I've ever had.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. You probably wake up with that drive. Like, how am I going to feed my family today? Yeah. What am I going to do? What are the things I'm going to do to get me to that place?
Yep.
What's the equivalent of a Bridezilla for like having a client?
For a realtor.
You know what I mean? Like the people are like, I want this and I want this and I want it 30,000 under. And
HGTV has not helped us because they assume what they see on TV. And it cracks me up when I'm showing a house to clients and all of a sudden I hear phrases I've heard on TV coming out of the husband's mouth. And I'm like, okay. Like he'll say, I love the space. Okay. Do you?
They say, I love the open floor plan.
I think we can take this wall out.
Is it load bearing? Is it load bearing?
Is this load bearing? I don't think it is. when the husband could explain it.
The vocabulary of HGTV shows is pretty small. I mean, like the things that they cover seem to be the same kinds of things over and over.
Yeah.
It's your reno budget.
Yeah, exactly. There's that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's pretty funny, but yeah.
But you've specialized in this area. Would you say that's your biggest like area of expertise is like the location that you work in, like Pflugerville, Round Rock, Georgetown, Central, Greater Austin area? Or would you say you have a different specialty?
So it just came about naturally that Pflugerville is kind of the center of my my expertise area because when I started, because I wake up unemployed every day, I started doing newsletters and marketing to the couple different neighborhoods, like every single month. Falcon Point was the first one, every single month, and then Black Hawk. And so it just happens you get more listings in those areas because you're knocking, on their mail door every day, every month.
Literally.
And then from there, I really and that was back when Pflugerville was not popular. And my Keller Williams broker used to make fun of me and say, we're going to give all our referrals to Joetta because she's the queen of Pflugerville. I'm like, I like being the queen of Pflugerville.
Yeah.
You're like, who wants to live in Pflugerville? I'm like, I want to live in Pflugerville. You should want to live in Pflugerville.
It's a great little town. I think when we moved here in when did we move here? 94?
94 if you count Morgan's Choice.
Yeah, we lived in Steeds Crossing first.
I lived in Steeds Crossing.
Awesome. See, we were neighbors and we didn't even know it.
We were on Morgan's Choice.
Yeah, we were on that first street that you turn right when you go in the main entrance.
You're one of the first houses.
How long did you live there?
In the cul-de-sac there.
What?
How long did you live there? Till when?
Exactly
like a year.
1 year.
Oh,
the HOA left a note on my door that said I had an illegal retaining wall and that I couldn't have a basketball goal. And I was like, how the hell do you know I have a retaining wall in my backyard?
That he and his dad worked tirelessly.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was like an undulating brick wall. And it's just because our backyard was sort of sloped down towards the house. And then I poured like a walkway to it. It was really nice. And I was so upset that somebody was like in my yard. And how would you know what's happening in my yard? So,
undulating. You don't hear that on HGTV. Well, and we wanted to build it. We had already decided after we moved into that house that we wanted to start a pet care facility, but we just started looking for land because we just assumed that we would be staying in our brand new first ever home.
And I could only do like 2 to 4 dogs in my house. Anything above that was like way too much. So, so thankfully, actually the person who helped us find this place was a brother of one of Bart's high school friends. And he was a brand new real estate agent. And this was like his first sale. And he went looking and he found this property that has 15 beautiful acres with this house on it that was built in the 80s, and we were so busy working that it was our father, Bart's dad, that went to my dad
check the place out. And he came back from here and he was like, well, I know where you're going to live. And I was like, the hell you do. You're not going to tell me where to live. And then we saw the place and it was twice what we could afford, twice what we had paid for our Steeds Crossing house. And I was like, this is beautiful, but we can't afford it. And Bart's parents said, well, we'll loan you half the money and you can borrow the rest from the bank. So that's how we made it work. But back then the city limit sign said, which we were not in, said that Pflugerville had 4,444 people.
It's a much different world now.
Yeah. What would you say the size of the city is now?
I have no idea what the population is, but
it's got to be 70K.
I would say 80.
It's a lot. I don't know.
It is a lot.
It's so much that it takes me 15 minutes to get to the Target area, Shop at Stonehill.
Yeah.
Which is really close.
But it's never dark in my bedroom at night because of the lights from Stonehill.
Oh, no.
There's so much traffic it takes me to get. So I'm just like, all right, this should not be like this.
Yeah. Just in the last year, the traffic's gotten really bad.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed it at the grocery store and it's like, what's what about the market like right now?
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. Let's talk about it. Cause I know houses
everybody's coming.
The last few months have been going for, 100,000 over asking and like, what's the market like? I know it's like this nationwide, but not in every city, but a lot of them. but Pflugerville is a really fast growing city. So what have you seen?
So the thing is like no one can afford Austin anymore. And so, Pflugerville is like the next place to go, Pflugerville and Round Rock. Mm-hmm. And so at this point, it's really difficult to afford Pflugerville, Round Rock, Hutto, Georgetown, Taylor. Taylor's become like very popular all of a sudden. And a lot of it is, and I think it's only going to get more popular because Taylor is now not very far into Austin because the toll roads. But Devin Patteville is an amazing educator that we had here in Pflugerville.
Yeah, he was the Hendrickson principal for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. And he got a job in Frisco, and then I think came back to Leander, and now he's the head superintendent of schools for Taylor ISD. Oh, cool. And his name is highly respected in the education world because he works magic, and he's actually a client. And so we've talked a lot about, as we're looking for houses out there, what he's going to do. And he's going to do big stuff. He's super excited. In the past, Taylor's school system's not been great. And so a lot of people don't want to move their families out there, but he's all about fixing that. So
Taylor used to just be like the sticks, that's where all the country kids lived and the farmers. And
they've really started redoing their downtown.
Mm-hmm. Hutto was like that too. I mean, it was just like cows and one hippo.
Well, remember Hutto they took a hard hit in 2008. Didn't a bunch of houses clean out? And
the thing with Hutto, with their housing market is back then there weren't any higher end builders really. I mean, you've got to look at it, Brushy Creek and some other neighborhoods that have 1 acre lots or custom homes, which are really nice. But regular parts of Hutto, they just did like lower price point because nobody wanted to drive that far into Austin.
Right.
And so when the market crashed, you had investors and you had rentals and you had it all just kind of in.
Yeah.
And today, we used to say like, okay, if we can't find something in Pflugerville, let's just go to Hutto and we'll grab them a house they can afford there.
Yeah.
And now it's the same as everywhere else.
The Pflugerville / Austin is it's touching Hutto now.
Yeah, the urban sprawl is just. I mean, Liberty Hill is ridiculous. I've got 2 clients closing, one last month, one this month in Salado, and I'm a little afraid to say that out loud about how wonderful it is because it is wonderful, and the tax rates are good. But I want to go there, and I need to wait 2 years to go, and so I need not everybody else to go.
Don't go there yet.
So you need to not make that. You're like, let's go to Salado and check that out.
I think Liberty Hill is going to be the next. I think that's where people are going.
Yeah, one of our friends bought in Gerald because that was what she could afford.
Yeah, it's a whole area. Yeah, there's an area that's kind of, again, I could also live there, so I'm afraid to say it out loud, but Belton. My daughter goes to school up there, and I own a house there she lives in. I love Belton. Mm-hmm. Quiet little town square and good barbecue and a beautiful lake. Like
it's an hour away from here. We got a client that lives in Belton, and she
drives her dog.
Used to drive here like 5 days a week. It was crazy.
It's 45 minutes from my house to my daughter's house in Belton.
Nice.
Easy. But that's going to blow up too because of all the people that are coming from areas where they sit in traffic for 2 hours.
Like Waco.
Yeah.
I would be okay if I never drove down 35 through Waco again for the rest of my life. Like every single time we drive through there,
so bad.
It's just like bumper to bumper for
it's
half an hour.
It's Temple to Waco. That is always a mess. Like they've been working on it since 1992.
It feels like it.
Yeah. Sure.
Always under construction.
Well, they're getting there because I remember when Salado was where the wide highway stopped. They started there and pushing it out. And but I also remember when the in Hutto, there's a big shopping center where the Home Depot and everything is, and there's where 685 hits that T
79.
There's a Sonic right there, and I remember when they built that Sonic, and it was the only thing out there except for the high school.
Yeah, Hutto High School. It was like Hutto High School and Sonic.
Sonic, yeah. And now it's anyway.
Now it's a Metroplex.
It is, and more is coming. I'm hoping Flick's Brewhouse was supposed to be going to Hutto, and then when COVID happened, Flick's closed in Round Rock, and I don't know if they're still coming to Hutto or not, but I would hope
Yikes. So. That's not good. Flick's closed?
I don't, I guess.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's sad. They had really good
They were open for the beginning type of COVID kind of, and then they they closed down.
That
so I don't know if
sucks.
it's forever or for a while.
We loved going to theaters where we can drink alcohol and see a movie and preferably eat.
Yeah.
And
You can
like
do it
date
all.
night, just all in one little
then-
spell swoop there.
Yeah. Allegedly, we found out you can take those little box wines into the theater with a straw.
Without anyone noticing. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We don't know from personal experience, but I've heard.
You carry them in, not in a purse, just out.
No.
No, it's like it's a juice. It's like the size of a juice box.
And now the Tinseltown, whatever it's called now, XD 2020, whatever, they have a purse limit size. So you have to make sure you don't bring in too big of a purse.
Yeah.
So I just empty everything out of my purse
Yes.
and then right inside. No. I mean, my friend that I heard about it from.
She has M&Ms and
Yeah, we usually get candy and wine.
Hot tamales and the wine together in there.
it's good.
I wouldn't even mind buying the wine there if it was good wine, but it's usually not.
Well, and it's like $16 for 6 ounces. And
Yeah. But like Alamo Draft House, we don't do that there because they have good
They've got good stuff.
food.
and yeah.
When
We're not just,
when the movie Bridesmaids came out, I went with some girlfriends and I packed little things of wine in my bag. And we had the best time at that movie because we were lit. I just started passing the wines down the group.
Yeah. Giggling. When I was in college, we kicked over a bottle of whatever it was. It was probably Shiner Bock, and you could just hear it like
Clink, 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 clink,
like roll all the way down. And we were just laughing and just like it was so obvious who the idiots were.
no, not you.
See, I told you we might go off topic.
We do.
A little bit. It's okay.
Okay. Tell me about your favorite clients to work with.
Oh my gosh. That goes in phases. It's funny. Most often I make a 3% commission off my sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you would think the higher the sales price, the more enjoyable that would be, which is nice, but I am just as happy. Like right now I have older clients and just sweet. I almost have tears in my eyes right now. Just sweet, precious people. I sent my daughter over to go help one of them move yesterday and just move furniture for them because they can't do it themselves.
Yeah.
And she asked if she could hug them when she said goodbye. Like, can I hug you?
Oh.
And it was like, that's how we feel. I feel about them. And they're not anywhere near the highest price house I'm going to sell this year, but I love them. I've got a brand new buyer who's a teacher, who's a single man of a second grade. He's a second grade teacher. And I'm helping him buy houses at the very bottom you can buy right now. And I love that.
Because you're helping. I mean, you were a teacher too, so.
Yeah. Well, and I also have clients right now that are looking out, trying to buy property in the 1 to 2 million range out on the lakes. And I can't afford any of that. So I get to live vicariously and be with them and show them. And
Let me show you the tennis court.
That sounds fun.
Well, that's the sad thing about coming home from trips with them. When I go I've been all over Buchanan and LBJ and Travis. And I come home and I literally look at my own house and think, how am I living in this crap hole?
Your house is nice.
Why can't I live in a $2 million house on the lake?
My view.
With a view.
Well, I bet your house is worth $2 million about right now.
Shoot. Yeah. I'm probably
you live in like one of the, you live in Falcon Point or Blackhawk?
Falcon Point.
I mean, both of them really are two of the nicest neighborhoods in Pflugerville.
You don't want to pay their taxes either. Their property.
That's what I was going to say. Travis County thinks my house is $2 million.
Yeah.
Nice.
Us too.
Yeah, we pay a lot in property tax. You can imagine.
Too much.
No ag exemption when you're taking care of dogs.
Oh, can't you put anything on there to get ag exemption?
We had cows when we first moved here. We actually bought cows.
Yeah.
Bread.
But after a while, it became very clear that in order to legitimately have the ag exemption, income from cows needed to be our primary source of business income.
Yeah.
And we could not do that. Plus one night they broke into our agility field and just crashed all the agility equipment. And Bart was like, cows are going to market.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like the cow jumped over the moon.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
they went on the teeter totter and
They trampled all the dog.
Sorry, that was probably really loud.
Equipment.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, they were angry because they were all named after steak sauces.
Yeah, we had Bernays and A1
and Heinz 57.
Yeah. And then one of them or two of them mated with our neighbors. He had a big bull named Dynamite.
Yeah. He was huge.
He was giant and he was white.
Like when he was just standing there looking at you, his head was like up here. He was like 7 feet tall.
Just my gosh.
Enormous. Like 1,600 pounds.
Yeah.
Just
jeez.
Made for some cute babies though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's our kids were little. I think our kids were toddlers then, and they're in their 20s now.
Yeah.
So
it was a long time ago.
It was a while ago. It was. Okay. So I know a little bit about this answer, but I want to hear, as a realtor, how do you market your business? And I know I mean, I love the pop buys, so I want to talk about that, but I'm open to any other ways that you market your business today.
So I guess in any kind of sales stuff, they call it, farming a neighborhood. So that's how I got started, was farming Black Hawk and Falcon Point. And so, the newsletters and open houses and all the stuff just to have my presence here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, farming is the big part of it. And then now at this point, 18 years later, you have enough web hits and stuff where your name comes up earlier. You have client reviews, you have referrals. A lot of it's referrals at this point. Yeah. And then pop buys I should have been doing the whole time, and I didn't. And I've just this year started it, and it's made a huge difference.
What's Popeyes?
Yeah, you got to educate Bart a little bit, because I haven't shared all that with them. But you don't. I mean, you don't have to go all into it. But she's an expert in it.
I'm gonna slide back and grab a
when she
Popeye.
told us about this, I was just blown away. I want to do this for dog boys, but I would need a full-time person to do this.
Yeah. So I conned my daughters to help me. Okay. So pop buys are your way of touching your past clients, just touching them to, I'm still here. Hey, I'm still here. But also, I never wanted to bother clients. I never wanted to bother people. So I was like, I don't want to touch them and tell them, hey, I'm still here. Right. The person that kind of helped me realize how important this was, she's like, why do you think you're bothering them? You're stepping up your thoughtful game. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love to be thoughtful. So I can do that.
Yeah.
So it's just a routine of one group of people and it's all on a Google map, color coded by where they live. So I can drive all together. Mm-hmm. One group will get a text or phone call that month. One group will get a handwritten note of things just like, hey, I'm thinking about you. I miss your smile. Hope you're doing well. And then another group gets whatever Popeye I'm doing. So this month, it's a little plant. These are marigolds in a box. So they could do them with their kids, plant the seeds and watch the marigolds grow. Got some Skittles, a pen, and I just drop it off on their door for the group that gets the Popeyes.
And there's a theme.
Are you saying
right?
Popeye, like Popeye the Sailor?
No, pop by. I'm just gonna pop by and drop this on your doorstep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But each one has a little theme.
Yeah. This one says, your referrals help my business bloom, and it's flowers.
Nice.
So cute.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I love it.
Something to remind him. And again, it's not just to get the referrals, right? Because then I follow up with a text and say, hey, I left something on your porch. Hope you have a great day. And then I get to actually have a little conversation, how the kids, what's going on in life, that kind of stuff. So it was to get referrals originally, but it's also not bothering people because I want to touch base with them.
It's a way of staying connected.
Well, it feels good to give.
And they're not getting a call going, do you have 15 minutes for a call? I just need 15 minutes of your time. You're like, no one has that. No one has 15 minutes.
Do you have friends or family that are looking to sell?
Is there anyone I could call on your behalf?
Can you give me a list of 5 names?
No. All of that is Realtor world right there.
Yeah, that's the Ginsu knife trick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's not Ginsu. Cutco. Sorry.
Yeah.
And there's none of that I could ever do. I've never done that because I can't.
Yeah. It makes you feel achy.
It does, but it makes me feel really good when my sweet, sweet, precious clients on Facebook, by the time I get home from dropping these off, there'll be 3 photos of what I dropped on their door about, this is my realtor. I know. It's so, I love that.
I do too. And somehow I'm going to figure out how to make that work for our business. I just think it's brilliant. Thanks. I love it. Okay. So do you get any, or have you worked with people that are like real estate investors, like people that are like Bart's and my age? Maybe they're just, looking at their future life and thinking, maybe I want to buy a house for my kids to live in at college, or maybe I want to invest in some short-term rentals or something like that. Do you get any investors like that?
Yeah. This market's really tough for investors just because you're in bidding wars, and even cash investors, it doesn't matter. I mean, now we have appraisal waivers. And so it's just still, how high are you going to pay? And you can't make the rents work out in this area, right? Very easily. So, but yes, I have worked with a lot of investors in the past, and it's just, it's a lot of figuring out what are the rents, what's the price point, and you can work that out. As far as the college kids rental is one of the most brilliant things ever. My daughter, like I said, has a house in Belton. I bought it probably in 2017 or 18, I think, for $130,000. I spent $20,000, $30,000, $25,000 gutting it and making it Joanna Gaines and all cute inside. It has 4 bedrooms. So they pay the mortgage, and she pays nothing. Instead of $1,000 a month, we were paying for the dorm.
Wow.
So yeah, and they're paying my mortgage off. So that
is brilliant.
Yeah, that's the best investor game. The other good investor game is, I was talking to my teacher client yesterday, and he's single and young, and I said, this house we're looking for now, you need to really look at what's the rental market for this, because the minute we close on this one, you need to start saving for your down payment on the next one. You get your owner occupied interest rate on this house, not an investor rate, which is going to be higher. And investors have to put 20% down usually. You only have to put 5% down because you're owner occupying. So you live there for a year or two, and then you rent this one out and you go to the next one. My cleaning lady told me the other day that she's got 6 properties, that she and her husband did that. They just moved 6 times to gather up properties.
Wow.
How smart is that?
I love it.
That's super cool.
So smart.
Yeah. Right.
People are smart. I love that. So if you found someone that you were saying, what?
No, go ahead. I
Okay.
had a question, but you go ahead.
I was going to say, if you find someone who does want to invest, and you just said it's not the right time, what do you think they should do? Should they wait to buy, or?
That was my question.
Yeah, good. We have the same question. Do you think I guess my question is, and I heard that the the big time TV LA realtors that do high end homes have moved to Austin. So I think that, I just want to know if you think this too. I think that home prices are going to continue to go up, or values, especially right outside of Austin, like Pflugerville and, the close in communities. But do you think does that make sense to you? Do you think the values are going to continue to go up, or
are we in a
eventually bubble? It does seem like we're in a bubble, and eventually
well, I don't think it's a bubble, because it's not the same situation of people getting bad financing. And,
right. Not like a 2008 bubble. Right?
And there's a supply and demand thing right now. So that's,
I think the supply will increase, but I want to know what you think, because you're the expert.
So there's going to be a cap at some point, because we are, unless our incomes come up, because the people working here, we don't make the money to compete with the people coming in from California and New York and Chicago with the money they have. So that's going to be, it's, cost of living. We're not going to be able to afford to live here.
Right.
And then people obviously could barely afford Pflugerville and Hutto and, these outlying areas now. So that's part of it. In the real estate world, nobody's talking about a bubble. And most people are talking about things softening a little, and kind of this will be the new normal, the pricing we're at now. And we're already seeing it. Instead of houses going in 15 offers and 100,000 over, it's more okay, you got 3 really good offers, and you may be a little bit over, but not 100,000 over.
Right.
Because prices.
Oh, that's good. It's already starting to soften a little bit.
Soften a little, but it's because the listing prices have come up now that we have appraisals from things closing after, January is when the full chaos started. And so now we've got enough appraisals that when I list a house, I'm looking at what's already closed. And so now I'm listing at that price, which in this January, I would have been down here. Right.
Yeah. Wow.
So they're still paying over, but not like they were, because base prices have come up. And I'm not saying it's not bad for investors everywhere. It's just in Austin, in this area, like you have to get further out to make it worth your while.
I want to, did you have another?
Oh, I was just thinking Lockhart. I heard Lockhart's.
You want to move to Lockhart because of the barbecue.
Maybe.
Is that a valid reason though, right? That's
valid.
We spent one spring break driving all around like Central Texas.
Yeah.
Just for barbecue. Like we put a cooler in the back. And we filled it up with barbecue from all over.
I ordered the same thing at every place and
get your cardiologist on speed dial.
Well, I wanted to like, do I'm not like super anal like at all. Yeah. But I wanted to see, okay, who had the best brisket,
beef rib,
who had the good rib,
sausage.
What about the coleslaw? What about the potato salad? And so I went to all the trouble of getting all the barbecue, but I didn't ever label the bags or the paper. So I didn't know which one. I was like, all I know is the one that had the really good ribs also had really good coleslaw.
And this is why you don't have your own barbecue day tripper show.
Yes. None of it went to waste. None of it went to waste. And there is this dream that like one day we'll just like get an RV and drive around the country and participate in barbecue cook-offs because Bart is actually an excellent cook.
I would rather just try barbecue from all over the country. I don't need to like.
That's true. You're not like to compete. Right. Mm-hmm. He's not a competitive guy when it comes to stuff like that.
No.
So where did do you have any idea who's your favorite barbecue person? Place?
Well, like Salt Lake's really good. I like them because their sauce is really unique. There's a place called Hoover's that's
on Manor Road.
Yeah, like right off of I-35, like in East Austin. And it's actually a Southern cooking, like comfort food place. But they have like hands down the best pork ribs I've ever had. Like, I don't know if it's his rub or his smoke or what.
It is good.
They are absolutely delicious.
All their food is good. And it's locally owned and they're just like good people. You can just tell that there's love in that food.
Everything's scratch made and but just
Franklin's is good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I've only been to Franklin's once.
I don't like that you have to wait in line.
No. Not if you can get good barbecue, lots of places.
There's so much good barbecue.
Yeah. I don't really, it's usually we go to Salt Lake. And I know it's become kind of not commercialized, but everybody's like, you got to go there.
Yeah. Rudy's is really popular. Yeah. My nephew loves Rudy's.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Rudy's. I mean,
the sauce is a little too spicy for that.
It's not bad. It's just, I like the Salt Lake sauce.
Me too.
And we bought the cookbook. So now we know how to make the potato salad and the coleslaw and all the sides. Yeah. That's been fun. That's been fun. Okay. I want to talk about, as you can imagine, dogs and real estate.
That's why we're here, isn't it?
Dogs.
So I want to do a community service message for people out there who want to sell their houses or who just want their houses to continue to grow in value, but maybe they have some pets. And what can we tell them? Like while you're in the house, this is what you should do to protect your house from getting ruined by your pets. And B, when you're selling, this is what you need to know about what to do with your pets.
What percentage of your clients do you think have dogs?
Oh gosh. I couldn't even come up with that number, but a lot. I mean, there's suburban families are most of my clients. And so,
well, it's Austin too. We're like one of the top dog cities in the world or country.
Yeah.
The universe.
It's a popular dog place.
Yeah. It is.
So, So what do you tell people I know that wood floors are a bad idea for dogs.
Wood floors are tough. And now you can get it's not real wood, but the vinyl plank that looks like wood. I often have to literally bend down and feel it to see if it's real wood or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great for dogs because, that is real durable.
Yeah.
I do more of the other end. You guys would be a better resource for how to prepare your house, how to make sure it's safe or, from the dogs. Yeah. Mine is more like, okay, your dogs have now created the Indy 500 track around your backyard, the ruts dug out. let's go ahead and get somebody in here to do some, lay some sod. Let's get rid of the dog racetrack.
Because
the
they do that. They run in a circle around the perimeter.
They do.
Shoot the deck or the side of the house. Or
oh my gosh, everybody has the same back door. Not everybody. Most everybody has the same back door that I have, where someone's dog was left out when a storm came or something, and it just all over the door.
Shredded.
Shred the seal piece that goes in between. Mm-hmm. So I always look at that when I'm walking around outside. I try to smell the house. Yeah.
Oh, you give it the whiff test.
I try, but I have 4 dogs, so I don't know. I'm sure my house smells about things that I can't tell anymore. So when clients have a cat, I'm like, I can smell your cat.
I know you have a cat.
Because they crap in the house. That's why.
Or they don't change the box. That's
people. Yeah. We did some pet sitting for a while. And as much as I am mildly allergic to both cats and dogs, but more allergic to cats. But I just can't live in a world where I got to clean an animal's poop up every day. And there's all kinds of things that you can do to kind of, they make all these magic litter boxes and stuff that do the scraping and everything.
It didn't matter.
But it's still
poop in my house.
Stinky.
The cats were so messy and so dirty.
But they are very sweet. We have a cat that lives at Dog Boys, and she'll if you put your head down, she'll headbutt you. She's real cute. Her name's Callie.
And she's very fastidious. Another big word.
Also not on the DIY channel or the home and garden.
She's super clean. But she goes to the bathroom a lot outside.
Yeah, she's an indoor-outdoor cat, which is not really the right thing to do for your cats because they kill a lot of birds. I heard that more birds die from cats than any other method of death.
Really?
Well, they're hunters.
Yeah.
Into your house then. That's nice.
Yeah. And we've got our little Noodle. He is a little bunny hunter.
Yeah. So. Delicious.
It's bad.
The litter boxes are icky, but my other thing is sitting at a listing appointment and I'm trying to have the conversation about the biggest investment of your life. And it's okay for their cat to jump up on the table they eat off of and put the kitty litter paws all over, walking across my stuff. I'm just I can't even pretend.
That's just,
don't worry about
it. Kitty.
Whiskers.
He's so silly.
He's
got whiskers.
Where you eat. He's putting kitty litter paws where you eat.
Yeah.
Get off. No.
Yeah.
No cats.
Yep. All I have a friend.
It's not an anti-cat podcast, is it? I'm sorry.
It's all good. I have a friend from my last BNI chapter who his dog is actually a client here, a little Shiba Inu. And he would jump up on the dining room, on the table while they were eating dinner and just help himself to the kids' plates.
That's so icky.
And they were like, I don't know what to do. I was like, put him in a crate.
So let him off the table.
Yeah.
Get him off the table.
I was like, don't let it continue.
Yeah. And then whenever he would get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, the dog would crawl into bed. And when he came back to the bed, the dog would be like, you're not getting in.
Occupied, please leave.
I was like, we do have trainers. They might be able to help you.
I'll steal your girlfriend.
So tell us about your dogs. I want to hear all the good news. Gosh. I know you have Jameson.
Yes, we have Jameson, the Great Dane, who's sleeping over there on the floor behind me.
Like a good boy.
My shadow, he's about 160 pounds, and I'm 5'10". His head's above my waist at this point.
Oh my gosh.
I stand up. Wow. He's a beast. But we have Jameson, and then my other daughter has a corgi. So when she comes home from college, we have the corgi. He runs the whole house. He's loud. He herds us. He barks. He just yells first thing in the morning, herding us wherever he needs to go.
Yeah. Did that Pembroke or Cardigan?
I'm sorry, he's Pembroke.
Okay.
Pembroke. I don't know how you say it, but yeah.
He's
really cute. He's a very cute dog, the smartest dog we have, but he's just the Great Dane's terrified of him. He just backs away from him. Yeah. And then my other daughter has probably the cutest dog we have. He looks like a mix between a Great Dane and a Pyrenees, but he's actually boxer in Pyrenees, so he's pretty short, not short, he's medium. Beautiful face.
What kind of fur? What kind of fur does he have?
Long, like a lot. He sheds and poofs, like
I
balls.
just can't. I'm going to need a picture of that. I can't envision a boxer
I'll get
pure
you.
mix.
He's a beautiful dog.
Short snout?
No, medium
Okay.
snout.
Sorry.
What's his snout size? Let's see. He's medium. His name is Bobo.
Aww.
He's cute. And he and Jameson are about the same age. And so when that daughter came home from college and she's back home full time, so I've got him in the house. And then we have a poodle that he should have met his expiration date. But at this point now, he's just a mean old man who rips up my door and he just poops and pees wherever he feels like it. Like he knows where to go and he can hold it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I will pee here on your curtains. That's where I'm going to pee, all over these curtains.
He's like, I could hold it, but
I could.
I'm 14. I don't
care anymore.
He's like, all you feed me is dry food. I have nothing to live for.
Well, and that's the Lucy's legacy. That's part of the problems. I started feeding him that. And so now he hops around like a puppy when food time's coming. So I can see he's totally
extended
healthy.
His life.
I've extended. Girl, don't think I haven't thought about switching him to dry.
Girl, don't think about it.
McDonald's.
I slip on poop in the middle of the night.
Oh, I know. We were there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So Bart, you have some expertise here. What kinds of things would you recommend? And Joetta, you probably already are doing this too. When you're trying to sell a house that has multiple pets living in it, what do you guys recommend? A, to do with the dogs so that they're less stressed. B, to, clear the evidence so that it's not all stinky and dirty. And
like, I think that fixing the lawn and fixing anything that they chewed up, but maybe even like staging a place where, and this is where the dog lives, and usually it's like you've got a baking bowl that you don't ever use for baking, but it's the dog's water bowl or whatever, like ours.
Messy mud room.
Yeah. We have a self feeder or self water thing. And
we did. Yeah.
It would look dirty. And so just,
we got rid of that.
Staging and cleaning and getting rid of the smell. And if there is a smell. Yeah.
But you recommend people take their dogs and obviously remove them.
For sure.
In this market, because things go so fast, I recommend that clients leave with their dogs for the weekend and just go and let me get you a contract on this house over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But back when life settles down and we're in a normal market again, and the house is usually on the market for, 20, 30 days, I would highly recommend somewhere like Dog Boys. Let's do some doggy daycare. Let's get them out because it's so stressful for the dog. And I've shown houses where the dog is in a crate, which is great. So he's put away. But now he's just barking at us the entire time we're in the house.
That is not going to make somebody want to buy.
The buyer, we want them to settle in and feel the house and feel comfortable in the home. And instead, you're being yelled at, get out of my house.
Like you're an intruder.
Yeah.
Well, it's not good for the dog either.
No.
Super stressful.
Stressful for them.
Yeah. It's almost more sad when I go to houses where the dog's in a crate and we don't even hear them until we get to the back room. And then they're just looking at us like, I'm so scared that you're in here, but I'm not a barker, so I'm not going to bark. And I really want to let them out. Like, hey, can we get out and play? You want to go play for a minute? And I feel terrible.
He's like, no.
But
yeah.
It's better to send them to daycare where they can have a lot of fun and probably sell your house faster than having them bark at people from their crate.
Right. Yeah. Right. And you can do that whenever, rather than an hour before the people come to the house, you're rushing to the house and putting the dogs in the car and driving around randomly until they're done. And I would say no matter where you're listening from or watching from right now, find a good pet care facility that you trust and give your dogs a place to go where they are actually enjoying themselves so that they're not freaked out over all this. Because once the move happens, that's also super stressful for a dog.
Well, even just the process of starting to move. Yeah. We always have, not always, but it's very common that people will come in and they'll start telling us that their dog is having some weird problem or, he started doing this or started doing that. And we're like, well, what's home like?
What's going on?
Have you had any changes? And They're like, we're going through a divorce, or we're
Or
moving.
mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's it. And they're like, yeah, we're packing up our house and we're short with each other. And so anything out of their routine is hard for them. So the more you could settle that down and take them somewhere else, or
before we moved to Steed's Crossing, we were living in a rent house in North Austin, and we had just gotten into, we had just gotten our own very first dog, and Bart was still very much in the learning phases of, understanding dog behavior and all that. And we thought, as we were moving, we just took boxes, from Austin to Pflugerville back and forth. And so the dog just stayed at the house the whole time. And so she just stood and watched as things started to disappear. And she was the last thing that we took. But when we got her and we took her to the new house, the very first thing she did was hide food in every corner of the house. Like, in case it ever happened again. But she was going to make sure that she was, had some back.
But she did that in the house we were leaving too. She would hide food behind doors.
She liked to
bury it with imaginary dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, think of how stressful it is. Like, I know Jameson knows when I'm putting my shoes on and grabbing my bag to go to the gym or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, he's right up. Like, what are we doing? Where are you going?
The keys.
Where are you going?
Purse.
So imagine when you're packing boxes and they're seeing all your stuff going. That's so stressful.
Yeah.
Why not wear them out somewhere? Then let them go play. So then when they get home, they just want to sleep and not tear up anything till the next day we send them back.
Right. Yeah. Boarding or daycare would be great for your dog when you're in the middle of packing for a trip, or if you're moving, but especially if you're moving, just so they're not watching all that happen.
We started pulling our suitcases out like a week or 2 weeks before we would go to California, just so he saw the suitcase all the time, because he was really getting conditioned that when it came out, he was like, oh crap, they're leaving again.
Yeah.
I'm going to be by myself. Yeah. Or I get to go to Dog Boys. Yay.
Yay. Way more fun.
Yeah.
My chiropractor just broke into the house.
Hey, chiropractor. It's Derrick, everybody.
That's fun.
So tell us the name of Derrick's business.
Texas Family Chiropractic. He's been the Pflugerville chiropractor for 21 years now.
Nice.
So if people are in need of chiropractic care in the Pflugerville area, go see Derrick.
Yes.
If your back is whack and you need a crack, go see Derrick. Sorry.
Now, as someone who's always looking, I'm always looking at homes, especially because of, all the shows on TV. But whenever I see a home that's not staged, I'm like, honey, no. I mean, don't you think they sell so much better? How receptive are people to staging recommendations? And would you say a lot of people stage now, or just some people are just like, no, I can't afford that. Here's my empty house. Good luck.
So again, in this market, it all happens so fast too, that I tell them, back in 2008, I would say, okay, we might be able to sell this house. Like, let's see if we can sell it. Now you're moving, you're leaving. And so let's go ahead and get your stuff packed up, get it in the garage by the door. So when the moving truck comes, you just open up and you load the moving truck from the garage. Yeah. Because I need this house as basic and pared down as I can get it. And it needs to not look like, how long is it going to take these people to get out of here? Because I want to move in 2 weeks or 30 days.
No clutter.
So knock a big portion out before we even take the photos. And now you've given me a house that's very just open, and there's not, these people always think it's family pictures and stuff, and it is, but it's decorative stuff. My style is not your style, it's not their style. So just bring it down to basics. Furniture, clean, everything gone, packed.
Right.
Get rid of the Bud Light neon.
Or all the family photos, or all, and
think about that. Like, I always tell people, not just photos because you want them to imagine themselves living in that house, not you, but also I myself, when I get bored waiting for my clients to finish up looking, I'm looking at the family on the wall. I wonder what they do. Wonder where where do those kids go to school?
Yeah.
I mean, you have strangers in your house looking at your children.
Right.
You know?
Creepy.
It's creepy. It's creepy. So pack it all up. Take the kids' names off their wall in their bedrooms.
Yeah.
Pack it away. So
yeah, because not everybody wants a child's bedroom. Some people want that to be an office or a guest room or
They're like, I hate the name Braden.
I'm not buying
I'm not moving here. I always crack up when I'm watching the TV shows and they're like, I don't want this house. This color is just not right. I'm like, it's paint.
Yeah, paint.
Why are you even worrying about the color on the walls? Like, let that go, girl.
That whole sentence, 2 sentences you just said in that same voice is what happens in my head when the hair stands up on the back of my neck when somebody says that. And I'm just like, then I smile and say, you know what? Paint is really inexpensive. I have some great painters that can help you out with that.
That's right. And I am happy to fill out a referral and get them to call you.
Let's
right.
You can pick your color.
I tell people all the time, the 2 things you can't change is location. There's nothing you can do about picking this house up. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, well, if you could only, as they laugh, if you could only take that house and put it on this lot. And I'm like, oh, that's the first time I've heard that. Really funny. But no, location you can't change. And then floor plan for the most part, you can modify, but you can't really completely change it.
Right.
Unless you take it down to studs. So as long as you get those 2, floor plan and location, everything else is changeable.
Yeah.
Let's fix it.
Yeah. Now, did you have a question?
No, I was just going to say I have a friend who's a contractor, and we were just talking about houses one time, and I was asking him what you could do, and he's like, "You can do anything."
Mm-hmm.
Like, he goes, I can move your kitchen to where the master bedroom is if you wanted, because you want a better view of the whatever."
Yeah.
He was like, "It's what do you want?" is what he was saying.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
For the right amount of money, almost anything could be done. I mean, if you had to, you could bulldoze the house and build what you want.
Yeah.
If
the lot's beautiful and the house is a piece of crap or, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people take them down to the studs and they use the slab and they use the utilities that are already there.
Yeah.
Because that's expensive to put utilities in.
I was looking at houses, like on Zillow, you were talking about looking for something for the kids. And, so I saw houses that are over on the east side, what used to be considered like, oh, that's the bad part of town. Or I went to school over there, so I know some of the neighborhoods pretty well. And just looking at the house, you're like, wow, like they came in, had to go down to the studs. This does not look like anything that was built in the 60s or 70s. It's super modern. And but they were asking like top dollar for this house that was in a really bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I think like that's
historically.
Like that's happening more and more.
Though it's not anymore a bad neighborhood. It's which is it's really sad actually for a lot to that can't afford the taxes in those neighborhoods anymore.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
People don't think about with I've heard this a lot recently since January. Well, how about, can you just find land for me? Like if houses are so crazy, how about we just find me some land and I'll build on it, or I'll put a trailer on it until I can build, whatever. Okay. God's not making more land, and everyone's snatching that up too. Land is expensive, and they don't realize how expensive concrete is for a driveway, how expensive utilities are to get electric and water and a septic out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The internet, all of it. So expensive that I'm like, let's look at a house that's not your perfect house, but let's bring it down to the studs and let's build it up from there. Your utilities are already there. Your concrete's already there. Your driveway's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bart's parents, your parents did that in Washington. They bought this cute little, it looked like a little Swiss chalet lake house. And it was at the end of a lake, right where the lake becomes a river. And across was like this forest that was owned by the state and it couldn't be developed. So they would never have anybody across from them. And they just took it down to the studs and they built a house that was probably 3 times the size.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they just added on to what was already there and made this beautiful home.
Yeah.
The whole, there was a second floor that went over the garage, like a whole separate garage apartment. And they eventually sold it. And now the person who bought it is using it for short-term rentals for parties, but it's beautiful and
gorgeous setting. Anyway,
all they did was take something that was old and make it.
Yep.
Right. pretty again.
So for people that have recently purchased homes and will probably live there for a while, what would you say are some things that homeowners can do to make their homes more valuable when it is time to sell? Like, should they get a pool, or should they put on, like a big back patio on, or like
plant trees?
What kind of investments and upgrades can they do? Possible. Or would you recommend to homeowners to increase the value of their home?
So as far as things like the patio for sure, covered patio, everybody wants. We live in, sweltering heat. You need something that's covered. That's I feel like in our area, that's a necessity. Right. The pool, I tell clients all the time, you build a pool for yourself. And back when I first started 18 years ago, a pool was like living on a golf course. Either it's a coin toss. You want to or you don't. And you may get $20,000 more. You may not. Yeah. Now, since after 2008 and things started recovering again, people started wanting pools again and could afford them. The pricing has gone insane to build a pool. And so everybody wants them and they'll pay. I oftentimes take the value of a house looking square footage to square footage, and I add the pool in and give them $80,000, $100,000 more for their pool. It makes people are willing to pay it. So did you do it for yourself? But pools are now, if you can find one that's somewhat affordable, they're a good investment. Not above ground, only in ground.
Only in ground.
Yeah. Above ground, you end up with a discussion of who's going to pay to get that pool out of here, because buyers don't usually want it.
Right.
As far as like keeping up, so like right now, my house is 2006. Almost everything is a pretty color, but yellow. It was the builder's model home color. Mm-hmm. And so I just had him do it everywhere. And today in 2021, this is not in style anymore. And so I'm preparing to, even though I'm probably going to be here another couple of years, it's time for me to go ahead and update. Mm-hmm. Thanks to Joetta Gaines, we have whites and grays and not so much beige and browns anymore and warm tones. It's the cooler tones. So, and a lot of grayish is popular.
Yeah. We have quiet rain in the background.
Our daughter didn't like it, but I love it. I know you have to go, so I don't want to keep you because I know you got to be somewhere soon.
You want to do the speed round real quick?
Do you have time for a quick speed round? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, we ask everybody the same questions. How many dogs have you had in your whole life? I think you can count your childhood dogs and
childhood, and then the dogs that I have to fund for food and stuff to live in this house that technically are my kids.
They count.
Probably about 10 to 12. I got 4 right now. So that,
Yeah. There's a third of them right there.
So when was I'm a dog person. Big part of my life, always have been. What was your first memory of a dog? Like meeting a dog or this is something special?
Cricket was my first dog, and my dad brought her home. I was from a small town in Indiana, tiny town, where my dad used to go to the pool hall and play cards with the old guys. Yeah. I think that's where the dog came from, because he came home from the pool hall from playing cards, and he had this little puppy, it's a little black dog that we named Cricket because it was black. And I just remember just being in love with Cricket. To this day, I don't know if Cricket was a boy or a girl. I don't remember. But Cricket used to ride on the tractor when my dad would be working like in fields or mowing the grass or whatever. Cricket would just sit between my dad's legs on the tractor.
Nice.
Aww, cute.
How old were you?
Little, probably like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's
little.
Yeah. Okay. Last question.
What? So everybody that's owned dogs has had a oh crap moment, or something. The dog did something that cost a lot of money, or
made a big mess,
was just crazy, or like something that you can laugh about now, but at the time you were like not cool, Fido.
So this is my second Great Dane. My first one passed away, but he was there. They're all counter height. They can surf they can touch the backsplash. They're so tall on the counters. And of course, we've all had Great Danes. If you're an owner that's eaten entire trays of barbecue or whatever you've left out. But there was a time that my former Great Dane Hulk, he was in the kitchen and he came into the living room. And he's got big floppy lips, and I could tell like his mouth was just open a little bit, like parted his lips. And I said, Hulk, what do you have? What is it? What's in your mouth? And he looked at me and tucked his head and he opened his lips, and an entire cantaloupe rolled out of his mouth. And the cantaloupe barely had their mouths are so soft. He barely had any marks in the cantaloupe. Yeah. But gotten a cantaloupe off the counter and was hiding it in his lips.
Nice. What? I thought it was a ball.
Oh, that's a very expensive. Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to hold this for later. Maybe they won't notice my lips are poofed out around it.
Great story. I love it. Well, Joetta, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And we will put all of the links to your website and Derrick's website, whatever you want. You just let us know and we'll put them all up so that everybody who wants to reach you can reach you when they want to buy or sell a home, because you are the local expert and they would be lucky to work with you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for being on the podcast.